Okay. The hell are you doing?
I'm watching a video.
Well, we're getting ready to record.
When you from the hood and go to the track. Okay, we can record. I'm going to send Steve to watch later. That was hilarious.
God.
It took me a second. Okay.
Sounds like something I may have seen already.
Oh, well.
I'm just being hoity-toity.
Crap all over my party.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Welcome to the Buckhorn Podcast. I'm Martelle, and with me always is Randy. What up, Randy?
What is up?
Oh, we are going to finish our read more
Deuce.
or part deuce of 3. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We'll see how many.
We'll see what happens here. But last episode, we started a story called Humans and Aliens.
Yes.
And basically, to get everybody caught up so they don't, go back and listen to the last episode. But to get everybody caught up.
Yeah, you know what? You owe it to us to listen to all the episodes.
Yeah. Start at 1.
Do it.
And listen to the last 72 episodes to get to 73 here.
And then come talk to us.
And then give us all kinds of money. And we'll make the show even better.
We promise.
More dyslexia.
Right. We will have Martelle read more.
I will read more.
And we will eat nasty things. We'll just get zombie Skittles for every episode. Do you think you would get used to them?
At some point, you would have to.
Would it become an acquired taste?
At some point, it would have to. It's like
you'd know what to expect, right?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like bourbon at first or whiskey, and now
really,
I got 50-some bottles.
Yeah, you have a collection.
I do. So
but we are back. Same day for us. Different week for y'all.
We decided we're going to continue this recording and finish this up. So
basically, because we forget what we talked about.
Right. Well, and this one's kind of
it's a multi-parter.
It is. So it only makes sense to keep going. So we left off. Aliens invaded. Yes. Invaded the planet. Invaded the planet. They took a couple humans captive. It sounds like a couple humans are left on the planet, destroying some things here and there. But the aliens did not factor in counting.
I love you and everything.
Encountering animals. And the animals are fighting back.
Now, here's something I've been thinking about since we recorded last week, a.k.a. 5 minutes ago.
The last show.
Right. And I was thinking about when you're reading the first part.
Stammering through it.
Right.
Yeah.
If aliens studied us so well from above, knowing who we are as humans, what we eat, how we live, how did they not notice animals?
Because
how did they not... Hold on.
All right.
How did they not notice all the rednecks out in Montana hunting the mooses and the eels? And how did they not notice the folks in Alaska who are fighting penguins and caribou? And how do they not know the people in Florida who are fighting like giant rodents? It's a cool story so far. I mean, I'm intrigued. We talked about leaving, and I said, no, let's record another one.
Yeah.
I want to hear how this thing ends.
So
but I can't. It's like so far out there. Plus, what about all the underground government? Like, there is a well-known vault that the government has that houses seeds and things. So if the world ends, they can wait till they can plant seeds again, right?
They supposedly.
And there's all these underground lizard people that the government knows about. So if the aliens do beat the bears and the lions and the tigers and the bears and the lions, oh my, do they then have to fight all the lizard people underground? Like Hillary Clinton.
I don't
Plot
know.
twist.
That's right. I mean,
aliens invaded, the Clintons end up winning.
So
the
all I can
suicide all the aliens.
All I can say is the aliens weren't as smart as they thought they were.
Okay.
I mean, we're dumb animals.
Yeah, and I want to hear the rest of the story. I have questions, but I'm going to listen to the rest.
Well, you can have questions. I can't answer them.
Right.
All we can do is go.
We can speculate.
Don't know.
Yeah, we can speculate.
So on with part 2 of Battle Beasts. Where we left off, we're talking about the tiger.
Yes.
So
bigger than a leopard.
Bigger than a leopard. Stripes, can hide.
Loves Frosted Flakes.
Loves Frosted Flakes. And can kill with its pounce alone. So continuing from there, we pick up. We've been through this. Group leader 455 snapped. This dissection of Earth life form will help the scientists make weapons to combat the rest of the planet's hell beasts. And they are domesticated, harmless.
Time out. How do the aliens have a concept of hell? Why do they call them hell beasts?
It's a science fiction story.
See? We can get to a religious discussion here.
No, we don't need
existence of heaven and hell.
Don't think too much into this. Because they destroyed all humans for the most part.
That is what we don't get paid to do.
Right. They destroyed most humans. They didn't count on the bears.
Yeah, but why would they call them hell beasts?
I don't know. Maybe they have maybe they've got 12.
Alien hell?
Yeah.
Hellion?
They've got 12 realms of alien hell.
Okay. All right.
I mean.
Carry on. Let's go.
So.
Acceptable answer.
The troops were not quite looking at her in the start over.
Oh, man.
The troops were not quite looking at her in the way the troops do when they don't want to be seen to contradict a ranking officer. That is a mouthful. But can't quite muster a correct expression of enthusiastic assent. The name of this species, he pointed out, is synonyms with the dullness and slowlessness in the language of the Earth barbarian. Well, one language out of several thousand. These creatures needed imperial guidance more than any other in the world on record. But there was no point in confusing the rank and file. That whole paragraph doesn't make any sense. More not quite looking. 455 bubbled a sigh and consulted her scanner. That one, she decided, alone in the separate pasture. Scans suggest that it's a male, which means it's probably weaker. Possibly, it's kept isolated so that the females don't eat it before mating season. And yes, I know some of you are here on punishment detail, but you're still soldiers of the Imperium. This squad is perfectly capable of handling a lone, helpless, pathetic male cow. It was a strange creature, Tarvan glimpsed, at the vast island known as Humans Australia. I would warn you not to fuck with us, mate.
That's not, you don't have to take a shot there if you play the Buckhorn drinking game. We're reading. That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. There's force guide. A prisoner had warned with chilling grin upon capture. If you think a moose is bad, wait until you tango with a redback. To this day,
I don't think we can call them redbacks anymore. I think they're Native Americans.
He's referring to a kangaroo.
Oh, my bad. Carry on.
So, if you think a moose is bad, wait until you tango with a redback. To this day, Tarvan fears the creature known as the redback and what horrors it will bring. The prisoner turned out to be of little help. The stubbornness of his people causing them to refuse the danger that the captured human warned of. Tarvan recalls a moment of one of his squad members approached the creature known as a dingo.
Dingo!
Maybe the dingo ate your baby. Modingo.
Modingo ate your baby.
I lost my place because I got excited.
Dude, happens to be all the time.
I know.
It really, really frustrates the wife.
So, squad members approach the creature known as a Modingo. Insist that they had seen the creature before and that they were tame. They barely escaped with 5 of the 7 members they had in their squad.
Oh, they lost 2.
They lost 2.
Barely kept 5.
Another moment, Tavar recalls, was a brutal mauling they witnessed by the hands of a creature called an emu. Don't feel too bad, the prisoners mocked. We lost war to the emus as well. Now with
they can't fight giant. They're ostriches, right?
Emus?
Yeah.
Oh, they're worse. They're like prehistoric fucking birds.
Yeah, it's an ostrich.
No.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
No, they're smaller than an ostrich, and they have gigantic talons on their feet where
They have
ostriches...
razor-sharp talons, good for cutting and
they're
slashing. And
they're like raptors.
yeah.
They're flightless raptors.
Okay, so hold on. Time out. So now I'm being led to believe that the aliens done wiped out the human race and kept some for prisoners. So I'm assuming the weaponry to be able to take out even the U.S. military. Do you know what the world's largest air force is? The United States Air Force.
Ours.
Do you know what the second largest is?
Ours.
The United States Navy. Those are the two biggest air forces in the world. The aliens wiped all these dudes out, killed Will Smith, took out him and Jeff Goldblum, but they can't fight oversized chickens.
You are thinking way too much into this.
No, I'm thinking logically.
I'm going with the fun of this.
I'm a realist.
When we're done with this,
funny.
You're taking a personality test to see if you and I are on the same plane.
Oh, we're not.
We might be.
I'm sitting here like, these guys have like laser gun fire things, and they're killing the human race. They can't take out a chicken. Come on. All right.
What happened in Jurassic Park?
That's not the same at all.
It's absolutely the same.
No, that was a T-Rex.
They
Those
had
were
raptors.
Velociraptors.
That's what this is. That emu is a fucking velociraptor.
Dude, if they can shoot humans, they can shoot an emu.
They don't want to shoot an emu.
That's okay. That's a them problem.
You're thinking too much into this. The animals are attacking.
But the problem is,
I'm turning your mic off.
Realistic. That's fair. I deserve that.
Now, with only 4 members left of their squad, including himself, Tarvan had learned to listen to the prisoners, to be wary of the simplest of creatures. This human Yes. This human, a 6-foot-tall chicken. This human was a subspecies of zookeeper, after all. The zookeeper looks off in the distance where their creature is. It's a kangaroo. Leave it behind and you'll be... Leave it be and you'll be fine.
So the aliens wipe out all of us, and they can't beat a kangaroo and a chicken, and the zookeeper's like, hey, just ignore him.
Just leave it be. You'll be fine.
I'm like, no, no. As a if I'm one of the last humans and I'm of a subspecies zookeeper, I'm not helping these little punks.
They're not helping them anyway.
Everybody I know.
They sent them out for grape juice instead of tomato juice.
Racist.
So, it's a kangaroo. Leave it be, and you'll be fine. Tarvan nods. A human signals of acknowledgement as if they are correct. The human smiles a bit. That creature cannot possibly harm us, Tarvan's squad leader protests. It is so docile. I will approach it and bring it back with its head to show the human that he is a fear-mongering liar. The human reels back. A look of disgust crosses their face and anger passes through their eyes. Fucking do it, mate. I dare ya.
I love the accent.
I'm trying.
Okay, first off, if they did kill the kangaroo and take its head, maybe they discovered, I'm bringing you kangaroo jerky.
I've had it. It's really good.
Wow. Way to crap on my parade. All right, let's go.
Sorry. Fucking do it, mate. I dare ya. The human hisses. The squad leader puffs up his heroin gland and signs.
That does not say heroin. I'm now following along. That does not say heroin.
Hoin. Heroin?
Owen or Hoin. Hoinn. There's no R.
I don't give a fuck.
He's got a heroin gland.
I'm going with it.
He lives in the bottoms.
Who gives a shit? I'm reading this shit. A sign of pride to their species.
It's heroin gland.
His heroin gland.
It's his dangler, man.
No, he's a heroine. He's a female.
He's a heroine.
Female hero. Heroine.
Oh,
and approached the so-called kangaroo. This will be unpleasant, a squad mate mutters as they watch their leader raise their fist and bring down on the creature. The kangaroo looks a little stunned by the impact. Before it raises itself upon its strong tail and uses its powerful hind legs to launch their squad leader backwards through the air.
Yeah.
Their squad leader lands upon the ground, unmoving with black blooded oozing from them. It appears Tavan is the squad's leader now.
Yeah, that's what you get. They went to Australia and got messed up. You landed on the wrong continent.
Everything in Australia will kill you.
Right.
I don't know what they expected, the human says. Smugness filled their tone. Kangaroos are fucking shredded. 8-pack and all.
But see, here's the thing. Now, follow me here. I'm trying to go with you on your story.
It's not my story. It's the internet story.
Nope, it's your story. You found it. So,
don't put logic behind a scientific story.
Hold on.
Science fiction story.
Science stiff.
I said scientific, but science fiction story.
The aliens took out the human race.
We've covered that, except for a few.
The kangaroos are wrecking the alien. Just killed one of them.
All the animals are.
Just killed, but the kangaroo did. But a human whose dog got attacked by a kangaroo went up and wrecked a kangaroo.
Well, he knew what he was going because
it's
the
rock,
human
paper, scissors.
The human knew what he was going against.
Called Alien Human Kangaroo.
No, there's the part you're missing. The human knew what he was going up against. He knew the kangaroo would fuck him up.
A timeout. I know a kangaroo. I've seen them at the zoo. I've walked through the little path.
I've walked through the path.
They're right there. I mean, there's really no.
You're not allowed to touch them.
Right, but they can. You're literally in an open cage with kangaroos.
Yeah.
At the Columbus Zoo. I still don't know what I would be to fight one. I don't, quote unquote, know what it's like to fight one.
Either do I.
So you're saying these aliens don't know the kangaroos, but humans really don't either. But one said, hey, you're messing with my dog, and just went up and sucker punched in the jaw.
Right.
And stunned it.
Yeah.
It's literally rock, paper, scissors. Alien defeats human. Human defeats kangaroo. Kangaroo defeats alien.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a vicious triangle.
It's a menage. What the heck?
But think about it. I mean, if we're going to start breaking this down, think about that, though. The humans know what kangaroos are capable of.
Kind of, yeah.
The guy whose dog the dog went after the kangaroo, the guy runs after, he punches the kangaroo in the face and turns around and walks away. He knows that the kangaroo is going that kangaroo can do when he
to an extent.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like
the aliens have no idea. None.
Well, they did not do their homework. If they can study enough to take out a human race with all our militaries and our drones and the Clintons.
They took all the dumbest aliens and sent them here. They're just smart enough to wipe out the dumbest animal on the planet, which is the humans.
Apparently.
That's all it is. They just wiped out the dumbest animal.
This really sounds like a backwards, twisted sci-fi version of how America was invaded and settled. It really does. Carry on. 8-pack and all.
All right. Tarvan steps forward to the human, whom inches back as a sign of fear. Tarvan pulls the blade from his holster in first act of the leader, frees the human of his bonds around his hands. Please, Tarvan begs. Well, it says bags, but I'm sure it's supposed to be bigs. Get us back safely.
They've misspelled a lot. You've actually read pretty well.
I'm trying.
How poorly this was written.
I'm trying. You guys really lost the word in emus? Why was it necessary?
There's comments in between this story
I'm skipping them.
And you're skipping them, but that one says you really, in italics, lost the word to emus.
You never mess with emus.
Oh, that's funny.
Jesus Christ. Don't get us started on kangaroos. They had faced emus. They had lost one in a battle that had experienced them, but this was no emu. Looking at their guide, they all stared in horror as their face changed from calculating to fear. Pure, hate-consuming horror as he stared at the large bird. Cassowary. They mimicked him in fear, squawking the horrific name as another joins the first in the mad run towards them. So you know what a cassowary is?
Nope.
They're slightly smaller than emus. And
so they're Cornish hens.
No. They stand about 4.5 foot tall, and they are mean son of a bitches.
Unrelated.
Like emus are bad, but cassowaries
they're like mixed with Canadian geese.
It's a Canadian geese.
Like that aggression.
Yeah, they've got that aggression.
It's a Canadian geese.
No, it's like
a gaggle of goose.
One cassowary is a flock of Canadian geese in aggression with razor sharp feet.
Plethora. Shop feet. I did. Side note, while we're not reading, you can get hippo meat, but not in America.
Of course.
It can be shipped from anywhere, Africa or whatever, to Europe or Canada.
Can we get it shipped to Canada and bring it down through Canada?
You can.
Okay.
From my quick Google, it can go to Canada. You can, I believe, bring it into the U.S. I'm not sure.
Okay.
If you know how to get hippo jerky, email us at
buckhornpodcast@gmail.com. I might be able to get some.
Prove it.
I got some Canadian connections.
Ooh.
I don't want them, but
I do.
I work
Maple
with
syrup.
Vermont.
Hippo meat.
The only ones to survive was the native guide and Tarvon. The guide was carrying the soldier over his shoulder as they made their way back to the settlement. Tarvon was a wreck, periodically alternating between rocking in complete silence and whispering broken words in horror.
He sounds like not a good leader at this point. When
they consulted the native, all he said was, "It was spring, magpie season."
More birds. Birds are what's going to take out the aliens.
Birds are assholes.
For the most part, they're also delicious, though.
That's why in Europe they call lady birds. Women. They call them birds.
I just want to deep fry more turkey. That's all I thought about when you were saying that.
Listen up, troops. This armor upgrade has been tested both in the laboratories of the best Imperial military scientists and in the field. We are impervious to the stings of any insect on this hellhole of a planet, striped or not.
Striped or not. I'm sure aliens are getting stung by bees and it's like wiping them out. It's like the worst pain. The aliens have never, ever been hurt. They're getting taken out by chickens and bees.
Mosquitoes.
And mosquitoes. Well, that makes sense.
West Nile virus.
Malaria. AIDS. Syphilis.
Everything.
Gonorrhea.
We can brave the perils of its wildlife and conquer it at long last. Revenge for our fallen companions. Glory to the Empire.
Emperor.
Whatever. Excuse me, the native Tarian guide speaks up in a tired tone, and the squad cheers die on their lips. This is Japan. You haven't seen what? Silence, worm. No sting can penetrate this plating. The guide tries to warn them once, merely earning a blow that throws him back to his knees. The troops set out, morale high, certain of their ability to brave the wilderness, now thirsting for vengeance against the non-senative native species. We're going with it. One soldier thumps his fist against a tree.
I'm not going to correct you.
A hollow sound follows. In an instant, the soldiers are in the center of a storm of striped insects. At first, no one pays any mind. Their little stings cannot penetrate the new plating after all. But then the soldier falls to his knees and the squad stares in horror as the insects enclose him in a layer upon layer of their own bodies, all moving. The squad's medic yells a warning at everybody to stay back, watching the readout of the unfortunate soldier's armor on their diagnostic screen with an undisguised horror. The insects aren't even stinging. They simply just keep moving on top of one another. Lost my place. Keep moving on top of one another. And the soldier's body temperature is slowly starting to rise until he drops to the ground, quite literally cooked alive. The insects swarm off, unharmed, save for the ones that were crushed by the troops' fall. Finally asked about what happened, the human sighs. Japanese honeybees. They do this to wasps too. How? You ask. How does your species dominate this planet? The human being bares its teeth, and a smile, they call it. Something humans do when they're happy. Yet you can't help to think of all the creatures with all their large fangs and sharp teeth. What kind of species uses a threat signal as a sign of happiness? Persistence, ingenuity. The human answers, still smiling. It doesn't matter that this is one of your prisoners. You human, you decided that you were terrifying this as you are. You decide.
Hold on, start with humans.
Yeah. Humans, you decide. Are you as terrifying as their planet? Is that right?
No.
No.
It says it doesn't matter that this one is your prisoner. Humans, you decide, are as terrifying as their planet.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No.
Are as terrifying. Whatever.
It's basically, they're throwing, it's really good. The literary, what they're doing here, the writers, because it's multiple people at this point.
It's like 50 people at this point.
They've basically thrown it back to the aliens are now beginning to realize that in order to conquer Earth, the wasps, the bees, the emus, the wildebeests,
the cassowaries,
the scariest thing of all, the most damaging, the most evil, the most hellish on the planet are the humans that they've conquered. That's where we're getting to, I think.
Right.
So, carry on.
All right. And scattered about it. Were the Martians dead? Slain by a
Putrefactive?
Okay. And disease bacteria against which their systems were unprepared. slain as the red weed as being slain, slain after all men's devices had failed, by the humblest things that God in his wisdom had put upon this earth. They simply keep moving atop one. What the? Hold on. That doesn't even belong in there. You stupid.
No, but I just realized if you scroll down the next one.
Hold on. Now I got to. Japanese time to just watch it.
The scatter, The Martian's Dead, was from H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
In 1898.
You dickweed. Now I lost my place.
Now
all
we're
right,
on to...
keep going. All right, here we go. You had to scroll like 3 pictures just to get to where we need to be.
These are screenshots we're reading from. So
they're screenshots, so you got to kind of move through.
Plus, it's Martelle, and he's admitted
that I'm a horrible reader. So
he's a bad reader.
Makes this absolutely fascinating for some people for some reason. I'm picturing aliens going up against a horde of Canadian geese or a swan.
Wait, where are you at?
Scroll down further.
I think you skipped one.
No, I didn't. Because it's terrifying as their planet, and then there's the H.G. Wells piece, and it's like it's in there 3 times. You got to keep skipping down. Skip to cat boundary.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, so I'll start back over there.
Oh, but cat boundaries just said in a comment. That's not part of the story. You need to go to I'm feeling the love.
Or fire ants. No. Okay, I'm feeling the love. Yeah, people are, so as this progresses, people are just throwing in comments, and then people are writing in their comments.
And since we do not script anything, we did not.
I didn't get this far into the story as I was reading it. They had brought along a human guide because they had realized that the land was impossible to traverse without a native. The last squad to walk into the area without a guide had been quickly destroyed by a monstrous beast the human had named Wolf. They were in the land of the humans called Canada.
Canadian.
Oh, Canada.
Canada.
It's that country up north.
It's America's hat.
Yeah, it's our little brother. And they were prepared for any wolf or moose that crossed their path. Still, there was tension in the air, as the squad had heard the horror stories of Australia and couldn't help but wonder if this land was anything like it. The human guide had been helpful. The squad members all took their human words very seriously, and the human had been taking advantage of that. Careful, the human gasped, and every squad member froze. See that? It pointed at a small rodent-like animal that had long ears. It's poisonous. Just touch one, and you'll die instantly. What's it called? Are there many of them? A squad member asked fearfully. The human nodded seriously. It's called a bunny, and they're everywhere. The bunny was not poisonous, and they had found out. The human had just laughed at them when they carefully confronted the bunny. They had decided to stop for a rest near a small body of water called a pond. Sleethar. You like that?
That was fantastic.
Sleethar.
There are these made-up alien names, and go with it.
All right. Had just put down his weapon when he noticed the human staring at the ground.
The weapon that can kill humans, but not bunnies and emus.
Staring at the ground, frowning. What is it? Sleethar asked. The human pointed at the small, slimy green pellet on the ground. Sleethar looked around and started to notice they were all over the ground surrounding the pond. We need to go, the human said nervously. There are swans here. Sleethar nodded and turned to the squad members. Time to head out, he called. Why? Are there bunnies around? Another said back sarcastically and promptly sat on the ground. The human had warned them. They barely survived, and none of them came out without a gouging eye or a missing finger. Save the human. They ran back to the settlement, leaving their dropped gear and sprinting away from the pond. Sleethar knew that he would have nightmares about swans forever.
Like we talked about.
Swans are assholes. I've been bit in the ass. I don't know. I've been bit in the ass by a goose, though. It is not fun.
Well, I've been goosed by a person before.
You've been goosed by an ass?
Hee-haw.
It was only a small bite, nothing that the medics couldn't wrap up and heal within a day or two. It was barely even a scratch, and 2 of his crew hadn't even made it out alive. Someone died from a goose?
Geeses. A gaggle of swanses.
He had counted himself lucky.
Ugly
the monster
duckings? Ugly duckings. Ugly duckings.
The monster had attacked them had gone by the name of some kind of mythological creature, and the humans had been coexisting with them, even protecting them, so that they had underestimated the danger. He would learn from his mistake, though. His wound would heal, and he would be stronger for it. Except it wouldn't heal. After a week, the wound had turned a nasty color and began to reek. The scratch began to fester and ooze. His strength was sapped. The medic could offer no cure. In order to cool his feverish body, he went outside to breathe. He needed to clear his head, which was delirious with fever and pain. He stumbled and fell. The edge of his vision blurred. Then he saw it, between the trees, low to the ground, its tongue tasting the air, its eyes dark, unfathomable evil. It heaved its scaly body towards him. The human's word for it floated across his mind as the monster began to devour his still-breathing meal. Komodo dragon. They're so bad. All right, this name, Tal Huvler. Yeah, we're going with it. Tal Huvler felt his blood turn cold as the human began laughing. That horrible sound. At first, they did not know what it meant, but word began to spread. If a human laughed while it was in the field, pain was always close behind. Not from the human, mind you, but from whatever unholy abomination Zenkir had stumbled onto. Tal's mind raced through the possibilities. 1 week in this frozen forest had given him plenty of material. One of the massive, shambling wads of muscle the humans called a bear. There was no howling, and Tal knew his sense of hearing was far. Shit. I lost my place because you gotta scroll down. Far sharper than the humans, so it couldn't be a wolf, whatever it was. They weren't near the water, so the huge killer whale was out. Thank Her Majesty's divine providence for that. Tal didn't want to get anywhere near those. He refocused all of his laughter. He refocused as the laughter continued. It must be related to the task at hand. I was going for an elephant. Damn it.
Oh man, I'm following along, and you butchering these alien names that are made up are killing me.
I don't care.
I know you don't, but you're adding letters and
I'm adding whole sentences,
syllables, and everything.
I'm adding sentences. I'm making it my own. The human had told them that the minerals,
I lost my place.
Zenkir needed to survive could be found under the ground, and the holes often opened up for easy access.
Yeah, they do.
The troops were low on substance, and when Tal saw one of these holes, he leapt forward with his extractor ready. The limbs were now 3 krill deep in the tunnel. But, human, Tal Halvar snapped, why are you laughing? The human slowly stopped, wiped liquid from his ocular socket and said, because I've been a ranger up here for 15 years, and I know a wolverine den when I see one. The screaming should have stopped. Wouldn't stop. Dark, light, no matter the period of the planet's rotation, the screaming wouldn't stop. 2 of Salvar's men had already punctured their audio receptors in an effort to get some peace. Salvar's was tempted, if she was being honest. She stormed to the human, lounging in the shade. Oh, and I gotta... These damn screenshots... Laughing, screaming. Oh, this screenshot is all fucked up.
Yeah.
Lounging in the shade. Okay, she stormed to the human, lounging in the shade while his captors went insane. You will tell me what this is now, she demanded. Why are the trees making this awful noise? The humans just looked at Salvar. It's a Texas summer, he drawled. And, Salvar's voice seethed with anger. The human shrugged. Cicada. That's it. That's the end.
That's the end. That's all we have.
That's it. There is no more. That's why I was trying to find.
We built all that up, and it ends. It's not. There's no ending.
There's no ending.
That's terrible.
Hold on. Give me a sec. I may come up with an ending here. For sure. Nope, that's That's it. That's the end. There's no more. I probably should have pre-read this. What is this? Nope. Hey, that's it. That's the story.
That's even better.
Now, don't even play Reading Rainbow.
We're not. Oh.
There we go. We can't play that on the show.
We're not playing on the show.
You are, though.
Oh, man.
We can't do that. That's copywritten, even if we talk over it.
No, there's a thing.
We can't anymore. That's why we can't do the Christmas show with Christmas music.
We'll see.
We can't do that.
Well, the weather outside is... It's actually sunny.
It's sunny now. So that's the end of that story.
And the aliens were killed by bunnies. If you gotta fight an emu...
Get a shoe, get a shoe, get a shoe. Anyway, so Tao and his folks hop on their spaceship, bolt the fuck out while leaving the humans alone, and we repopulate the Earth like Adam and Eve. The end.
Did you just make that up?
I had to. There's no end to this story.
I mean, I don't dislike it.
I don't like it, but I absolutely dislike it. That's the end of the story. I wish there was more. I was trying to find, so there's all kinds of stories out there like this. I saw this. There's a whole Reddit forum on
Reddit.
No, there's a subreddit for like these internet stories where people
continue
and write them, and there's multiple like ghost writers essentially for this stuff, and they're really good. So if you get a chance, I will find the link. I can't remember exactly what it is. I lost it. I will put the link in the show notes for this show, and probably for the other show as well. But is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't really have anything else. I was fascinated by twice things.
Let's talk about it, because you were putting way too much logic into a lot of the stuff for it being a science fiction.
Well, but even with like science fiction, I get like if you want to Star Wars or Star Trek or Stargate,
that's all this is.
Harry Pooters.
It's battle beasts.
But here's the thing: if you're going to make it in a realm that we know, which is Earth, and involve things we know, which are animals, and humans, and disease, and you can't sit there and you can't make the inference that aliens can wipe out the human race and then turn around and say, wait, we can't master these beasts that you guys have. Because they're fighting the top of the food chain, right? They prepare for the humans. The whole premise is they prepped to kill humans. So they prepared to fight against the A-10 Warthog machine and the
spent
stealth
uranium
bombers and the drones and the Clintons and all the other stuff that'll kill you, right?
Right.
They prepped, and we've all seen Independence Day circa 94,
so
95.
They
prepped for that.
They prepped for that. They were expecting humans to fight back. Right. So they were expecting to wipe them out. They weren't expecting animals to fight back. So they weren't prepared for that.
But here's the thing, though. So take humans out of the equation on Earth.
Okay.
Right?
Well,
so
we are a virus anyway.
They wipe out the humans. Why are they still there? Was their goal to occupy the planet?
Who knows? They were mining something, obviously, towards the end of the story.
So if their goal was to occupy the planet, they wiped out most of the humans. They have some held captive, right? So, and obviously they're using their knowledge.
Right.
There's no way that I can be led to believe that a force, an intergalactic force that could wipe out humans, can't handle an emu, can't handle a bunny. Well, the bunny thing was a farce. The human was messing with them. But
an emu or a cassowary, if there's a group of them, I could see them being a pain in the ass.
Not
one.
Okay, I'll give you 100 emus. Take them. Hold on. Hear me out.
I'll give you a 1-to-1.
No. You don't even know what I'm about to say.
I don't care.
I'm going to give you. Shut up and listen.
No.
I'm going to give you 100 emus, and you have to take down the entirety of the United States Marine Corps.
But they're not going against the entirety of an entire.
There's no way one emu affects a squad of 7 aliens that took out the human race. No way.
But they didn't say it was just one emu.
There's not a way. There's no chance in 100.
It could have been 12 emus against 7 aliens.
A dozen's worth to 11. They're fine. 12. Too much.
It could have been 12-7.
No way.
12 on 7.
Ridiculous.
It's not, though.
Asinine.
It's science fiction.
It's absurd.
It's science fiction. It's supposed to be.
Ridiculous.
It's supposed to be.
No,
it's science fiction. This shit's made up.
Yeah, but that's like Star Trek, where the dude and the chick were brother and sisters.
Fuck
and started
Star
banging,
Trek.
And they all went to Darth Vader, who was their dad. And then Harry Potter lost his wand in a lava pit or something. That's science fiction crap.
None of what you said makes sense.
It's science fiction. It doesn't have to.
No, you threw 4 stories together.
At least. They all got the ring and went to Mordor.
Right.
That all is science fiction. If you're going to see
you
tell me things, but if you're going to quantify
400 different storylines together. This is one storyline.
If you're going to quantify something that I can relate to, as in bunnies, emus, hippos, and all this, and say aliens wiped out the human race, save for a select few, they kept us prisoners. One who just happens to be a zookeeper.
And the other one's like a park ranger.
Kevin James, Paul Blart, zookeeper cop. And they are traveling the planet because it had them in Japan, had them in Australia, had them in Texas.
Canada.
They cannot handle coming across, and as they encounter each one, they're not encountering herds of bunny and herds of emu.
Are there herds of bunny?
Not the way the story's written. If so, it's piss poor written.
Of course it's piss poor writing. It's piss poor reading on my part.
You're right. I agree with you there, which leads me to believe aliens could wipe out the humans. But there's no way, if aliens take out the human race, that they cannot handle the rest of the crap on this planet. It's ridiculous. It's beyond science fiction.
The whole thing's ridiculous.
I agree. That's my point.
So why are you putting so much thought into it?
Because you asked me to.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you asked me to. You said you're going to talk about this.
I said we'll talk about how.
Well, I have questions. If I'm going to read something, I have questions. If I read The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown,
I'm not going to have questions.
If I watch Independence, what was it? The National Treasure with Nick Cage still in the Declaration of Independence.
Not going to have questions.
Oh, that's where you and I differ. I would sit and go, wait, how is that possible?
I could give a
it's
shit.
It's like the Fast and the Furious. How does the guy shift gears 47 times in a quarter mile?
Well, that's just
in a Mitsubishi Eclipse. It's fiction, right? Don't question it. But I'm sitting there going,
well, no, that's more reality based.
How? We're talking animals. We know what kangaroos are. That's reality based fiction.
Right. It's reality based science fiction.
This story is
Fast and the Furious is actual street racing, and he shifts 18 times in a car that only has 4 gears.
5.
Whatever.
But same thing. I'm sitting here questioning how an alien can take out our military, but not a freaking bird.
Because birds are assholes.
Oh. Well, that makes sense then, I guess.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting here saying that I'm putting too much thought into it, I'm just saying that if they're going to make it, I've been told I'm a good writer before. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I don't know.
You should rewrite this whole thing.
If I had the time, I might. Because there's no way that an alien force... Now, say there's
like I said, they sent the dumbest aliens.
Say... It doesn't matter if they send the dumbest aliens, though. If they can wipe out the smartest humans, they can wipe out animals. There's no way in
They sent the dumbest aliens to wipe out the dumbest animal.
There's no way in Klingon that they take down all of the militaries in the world, all of the superpowers... With all the military strength and power, nukes got to go off at some point. Somebody said, screw it, this is the last straw anyway, we're all dying. Let's fire nukes at these bad boys. And then they go, wait, that's a giant chicken. Oh no, we're all going to die.
I'm going to title this episode...
2 out of 7 and the other 5 barely make it.
Randy puts too much thought into this.
That's fine. You can title it whatever you want. I'm right.
That's fine. I just don't put that much thought into it. It's a story.
It's a poorly written story.
It's a poorly written story by the internet.
Yeah, well, the internet should be better.
It's not. The internet is a brothel of bullshit.
Yeah, not my problem. Bullshit. Oh, what if that's what it is officially called?
I mean, it's the internet.
I agree.
They wrote the story, not me, not you. You don't have time to sit there and go through and think about, They didn't even mention a honey badger. A honey badger don't give a shit. It got 0 fucks to give.
Well, but the aliens apparently didn't have to worry about honey badgers. They had to worry about emus.
They had emus.
That's
and
what took them
cicada.
out. Cicadas killed the race that killed the humans. That makes me feel awesome.
It didn't say they killed them. It said it annoyed them.
That's so dumb. You know what chaps my cheeks? Poorly written internet stories. The end.
It is a poorly written story. But I'm not putting too much stock into it because it's just a story.
Yeah. Well,
I don't put too much stock into anything. I just go with the flow. You just call me Mr. Positivity. It's beautiful outside. The weather's nice. It's not the least bit chilly.
At all.
It's great.
I wonder if the aliens know how to deal with winter in Ohio.
Well, they're in the vacuum of space, so.
You don't know that. They're in their ship.
Their ship's in the vacuum of space.
Yeah.
They have to heat the ship at some point.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're well adapted to 44 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius.
Yeah, we'll see. Man, I'm getting tired. It's time for a nap.
All right, let's shut this down.
Let's do that.
All right, that was a poorly written internet story read by
Poorly read.
poorly functioning myself, Martelle.
Poorly written, poorly read.
It was poorly read.
On your station for crappy stories. B. 90 Buckhorn.
WNUTZ.
Podcast.
W nuts.
WTC. Oh, man.
All right, we're done. We're out. Check us out on Instagroup, Face Bubbles and Twister Nuts. Jesus.
I don't even know how to say that.
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Insta, Google, Tweetstagram.
Except there's no Google mentioned anywhere in those three.
Yeah, but if they Google Buckhorn Podcast,
you will find
us.
A cabin called the Buckhorn Cabin.
You'll find donut and whiskey.
If you would like to support the show, you can send us Venmo at brandon.martell. Shoot us an email at buckhornpodcast@gmail.com.
Tell Martell he's wrong and that story's stupid.
It was stupid.
And aliens would not be able to, or would not have problems with emus.
You don't have to tell me I'm wrong.
Or kangaroos.
I already know the story was stupid.
I thought you were going to say, you don't have to tell me I'm wrong? I already know I'm wrong.
Well, the story was stupid. I may never be wrong, but I'm always right.
I second that.
Right. I'm Martelle, he's Randy, and like, share, subscribe, and we out.
Peace.
See ya.